I'm going to show you how to prepare an image to use in a movie clip symbol for an animation. The reason why I want to do this is I want to have a continual flapping of the wings. In order to do that, I'm going to set it up in a movie clip in Animate. I'm going to show you how to prepare this image so you can use this in your animation. And I'm going to use this lasso tool to make 3 different selections and 3 different files. I'm going to make a file for the left wing, the body, and the right wing. I'm going to use this because there are 4 different selections that you can use with the lasso tool. This is, you have 1 selection. This allows you to add to a selection. So let's say that I am going to select this right wing first. And say that I got a little bit messy here and didn't include part of the wing. You can see that the lasso has a plus. This means you can add to the selection. So I can just go back and add to the selection. So now that is my selection, is this right wing. I'm going to go up to Edit, Copy. So I now have this on the clipboard. And I'm going to make a new file. And you'll see when I go to a new document, it gives me the option and highlights it to put this into the size file for that clipboard, for my image that I just copied. So I'm going to, this image is at 72 resolution, 72 pixels per inch. So I'm keeping that same resolution, and I'm creating a new file, Edit, Paste, and I have my wing in there. So I'm going to save these images 2 different ways so you can see. This first one I'm going to save as a JPEG and a PNG, 2 different ways, so you can see what happens. So File, Save As. And it is the R for right in wing, right wing. And I'm going to save it as a JPEG and save. Maximum, I usually keep it at maximum 12. I don't go lower than that. And click OK. Now I want to also save this as a PNG. And the reason why, I'll show you in a minute. Turn off, you'll see how I have 2 layers? Whenever I did a paste on this, your file opened up with a background. And then when I pasted it, it pastes on the layer above. If you turn off this little eyeball, you'll see that this has these little squares here, means transparency. Then you'll see a white around here that I had selected. I want to delete that white so that this entire area is transparent. I'm going to use the magic wand to do that. And since it's just white that I'm selecting, I'm going to use a tolerance of 10, which is kind of low. I don't have to have it high because I'm not selecting any color other than white. So I'm going to select that white and just go to delete it, and select, deselect. Now the background on this layer, layer 1 with the wing, is transparent. I want this background also to be transparent. So I have to turn the lock off of the background. I'm going to turn this off for a minute so you can see. I'm going to do a select all. I have everything. I'm going to do a delete. So now this is transparent and the background behind the wing is transparent. So if I do a file, and let me turn on the wing, File, Save As, and I'm going to save this as a PNG. And this is also going to be the same name, so it's R wing, and save. I'm going to save it as a large file size, and interlacing. It's just much easier interlacing with the animation. And I can do a flatten. Now look what happens if I flatten. So I'm not going to want to do this. See how it turns white? So don't do that. Do an unflatten. Keep it this way. You have it so that when you import it, this PNG is going to be transparent. So just make sure you've got it saved correctly. And you are saving it as a PNG. So it's our wing. Our wing, PNG. It already exists. Just replace it just in case. Okay, so one done, the right wing. And I saved it two different ways, which I'll show you why whenever we go into Animate. All right. So I'm going to go back to my butterfly and deselect. So select, deselect. That gets rid of my first selection. I'm going to go back to my lasso and I'm going to select the body and just carefully, I want to make sure I get the antenna and his little tail. There. Okay. So I'm going to copy this because I want to make this a file by itself. If I copy, then when I go up to File, New, I can put it on a clipboard. It already has a clipboard size file ready for me. I'm going to create and paste. There he is, the little worm body. And do a file. Now, I don't want to do a file save as, because right now I have a white background. I want to have that transparent and this, the entire background transparent. So I'm going to unlock the background, do a select all. So select all, which I'm just on the background layer. So it's just going to delete the background layer. And you'll see, I'm just going to zoom in here. This is still white. I have to get rid of the white, and that's on the layer above where the little, I put the body in. This selection is easiest done with the magic wand tool. So I'm going to deselect what I have selected so far, which was the entire file. Use the magic wand to select just the white, and just be careful because I have a little bit of white here and here. Hold down Shift and select that. Now the problem, we want to make sure that we have, I'm just going to deselect for a minute because I want to make sure that I don't get rid of, let's see if this is going to try to get rid of also my antenna. It does. So edit, undo clear. I have to bring my tolerance up. Let's say my tolerance up to about 30. Select, deselect. And I'm still having a problem here. It's still selecting more than I want. Let's see if I can get just this part. That looks like it's going to be a problem. I might have to use my lasso tool so I can get the antenna and keep that. For some reason, it's giving me a little bit of a problem. So let's go in here and select around my antenna and delete that background. You can see I still have a little bit of, it's a little hard to see because this is not that dark. And I might add even a little more darkness in there for the antenna. Let's do select, deselect. I think I'll come back in there and add a little bit more detail. And get rid of that. And get rid of just this little bit in here. So it ended up being a little bit pickier than I figured. Let's do a deselect. I'm going to use the eyedropper to select some color. So I have the body here, and I want to add a little bit more detail in here for the antenna. And I'll do that with the pencil tool. And the pencil tool, see this little dot with a 1? That means it's only going to draw 1 pixel. So whenever I draw my antenna up here, it's not going to be that detailed of antenna. And if it's a little bit wiggly, that's okay. There. So go up to File, Save As, and we're going to save it as a PNG. And this is going to be named Body. Save. Okay. And you'll see that this does not say the name, although we have the body here. And the problem is because this is a JPEG, or actually we would probably, if you do a file save, you'll see it goes to a PSD. Yeah, it's trying to save it as a Photoshop document. And I don't want to do that. So that's why you still have these left. Going back to the butterfly wing, deselect. Now I want to select this wing, which is the left wing. So I use the lasso and move around here kind of quickly. Make sure I don't get the antenna. And if I do, I'll just delete it. Okay, there, good. Do a copy. And we do a copy because then when we make a new file, I can use this default of the size of the clipboard, which is my selection, to create a new file and paste that wing in there. Here's my file. Now I don't want to do a save as, remember, because I still have that white background. So let's go over here, get rid of the white background, and make sure you select the background layer. So when you go up to select all and delete, you're deleting it here. You're not deleting the wing. Then go up to the wing layer, go to your magic wand, deselect so you don't have everything selected, click. So you can see it's selected really well. I don't have to go in there and pick it with the lasso tool, and delete that. Select, deselect. Now I'm going to save this, both layers, as a PNG. So File, Save As, and PNG, and this will be L wing, which is left wing, and save. Okay, so we should have the butterfly body, and I have the left wing, and I've saved the right wing 2 ways so I can show you what that does, a JPEG and a PNG. So that's the end of this movie. I will continue in the next movie, going to Animate and importing the wings and then making a movie clip.